Welcome to Texas World Federation Championship Wrestling from the beautiful Metroplex Arena in Dallas, Texas. Hi, everybody. I'm Bill Mercer, and we're back, putting class back into professional wrestling. And to show you some of that class, two of the most exciting young men in professional wrestling today who show you their reason, their will to become the best in their business. To become a champion is not just to be out practicing the skills of an athletic contest. You have to get out and really get into finding calluses on your hand, building those muscles outside the gym. And these guys, Steve Austin, I call him the Mean Green Machine because he went to what was then North Texas State and played a little football, a lot of football. And over here, Rod Price, the California stud, who also played football and with the San Diego Chargers. You see what you're getting here of calluses on your hand. Steve, what is the idea here of lifting and throwing?
Well, lifting and throwing, it all comes down to the same thing, you know, staying in shape. You know, we go to the gym, we spend a fair amount of time in the gym, but we come out here with the rocks just to do something different, just to tie in, just put some finishing touches. You know, we like to be versatile.
All right. And over here, Rod Price, California stud. California, that's classy business. You're out here in the dirt and the hard stuff.
Hey, baby, some of the toughest people I know are construction workers. And I'm no better. I get out here and I work hard. It's tough to be a champ.
Tough to be a champ. Tough is what this is. These two, Steve Austin, Rod Price, the Mean Green Machine, California stud, champion, getting calluses ready for their next defense. Austin and Stud, a pair of the young men who will be taking part in our first bout. And the other half of that big event, the Simpsons, Steve and Shaun from South Africa. Now, this is the kind of business I could really fit into. You know, if you get tired during the day when you're selling mattresses here at Mattress Inn, just lie down and take a rest. Here are two of the great entrepreneurs of the world of wrestling. Two of the most exciting young men I've ever seen in this business, Shaun and Steve Simpson. Now, both of us, all three of us, in fact, have kind of been away from this business a little bit, but we're all coming back together. Shaun here was the youngest junior heavyweight champion when he beat Eric Embry in the world. And Steve, well, you know, has just excited people everywhere. Good to see you guys again. Shaun, how you doing?
Super, my friend.
How's business?
Couldn't be better. Let me just tell you something. Don't let looks misguide you.
You're still active, huh?
This is the fun part right here. In a minute, we'll show you the real tough part about this business.
Oh, the tough part, yeah, I know. I've moved the mattress around the house. What have you been doing, Steve?
You know, I hurt my eye a few years back, and then all of a sudden, from making great money, I suddenly found myself, wow, from one extreme to the other, zero income. So we got together and we said, no, we got to start a family business, build it like a family, and with my father's guidance and my brother's help, we built it from scratch. I mean, there was a parking lot here where we began.
One of the things that impresses me in knowing the way you two wrestle and your background, that you bring now an additional spirit and speed and excitement to the ring when you come in. And I look forward to that, Steve.
You know, what I lack, Bill, in muscle, heavy bulk, heavyweight wrestler kind of thing, I have to make up with speed and high-flying, quick moves in and out. So I've got to be sure that when I'm in there with the heavy man, I've got to pop him 4 or 5 times to every one of his.
We have to be smarter than our opponents. Is what, like Steve says, what we lack in size, we have to make up in other forms of wrestling.
Well, I can visualize you throw these guys around like you toss these mattresses around. Great to see the Simpsons back. We look forward to you in Texas Championship Wrestling. The Simpsons, we're all back.
Thanks, Will.
And now meet Texas World Federation Championship Wrestling's matchmaker, a Gary Hart you haven't seen before.
This is music to my ears. I'm still here at my office, and I'm watching the show right along with you. And for all the women that ever had anything bad to say about Gary Hart when I was a manager, you're going to really love that I took over as the matchmaker, because I'm bringing you Shaun and Steve Simpson, two of the best looking and best wrestlers in the sport today. And also a guy by the name of Austin and another guy by the name of Stud. You're going to like it. Check it out.
The Metroplex Arena, sporting events and concerts. Hey, let me tell you about the great events coming up in the latter part of November and all of December. Now, on November 30th, the music, The Call, great rock group, great sound. And then on December 1st, Texas Championship Wrestling again. And we look to a great event on December 8th. It's amateur boxing, the ABF. And you see some of the great young talent in the boxing today. We've got on the December 12th some more great music. The Extreme and Danger Danger, sponsored by The Edge, KDGE. Christmas. Christmas. It's always great to have a wrestling match on Christmas night, and that's what we have, Texas Championship Wrestling. And then on December 31st, let's wave out 1990 and start in 1991 with a big New Year's Eve party right here at the Metroplex Arena, sponsored by The Edge. The Metroplex Arena, 9244 Markville, just south of LBJ off Greenville. Join us here, the Metroplex Arena.
Ooh-wee! Your International House of Pancakes restaurants are going country with big country breakfasts. Look at this. Chicken fried steak and country gravy with eggs, potatoes, and 3 lip-smacking buttermilk pancakes, or biscuits and gravy with country sausage and eggs and potatoes and a plate full of buttermilk pancakes. Come and get it. Big country breakfast, just $4.99, served all day, every day.
Shoes. Everybody's gotta have shoes. But if they're priced too steep or they look too cheap, chances are you're gonna get the blues.
Hi, I'm George Zimmer, president of the Men's Warehouse, and now I'm doing for shoes what I do for men's clothing. We have quality, famous maker shoes for a lot less than you'd expect to pay somewhere else. I guarantee it.
Shoes, shoes. The Men's Warehouse has shoes.
Texas World Federation Championship Wrestling. Steve Austin and the California Stud here at the Metroplex Arena. The young lady in waiting, Dawn Batiste, student at Texas A&M University. The class in Texas World Federation Championship Wrestling. Awaiting now the arrival of the tag team opponents for Austin and Stud. The Simpsons in a high-flying opening bout here on Texas World Federation Championship Wrestling. And here they come. Steve Simpson, Shaun Simpson. Young men originally from South Africa, now live in Dallas. And they're entrepreneurs, young businessmen. And your ring announcer is Doyle King.
This is a tag team event scheduled for one fall with a 15-minute time limit. Introducing first, from South Africa, weighing in at a combined weight of 410 pounds, the sensational Simpson brothers, Steve and Shaun. Their opponents for this bout, combined weight 565 pounds, the Stud and Austin. Bobby Turner, the referee.
And this is Texas World Federation Championship Wrestling. Hi, everybody. I'm Bill Mercer. Nice to have you with us. Nice to be back, bringing class to professional wrestling. And here, the opening of a tremendous bout. Steve Austin over there to your left with the long hair, who will be the first man in the ring, is a former football player at what is now the University of North Texas. When he was there, it was North Texas State University. Outstanding linebacker. And he opens up against Steve Simpson, a very quick, very well trained, as is his brother Shaun, by his father. And we'll talk to Sam a little later on during this important event, bringing you a new world of professional wrestling. Just kind of feeling everything out as we start here. Steve Austin, about 26 years old. Simpson about to save. Austin loves to use his strength, his physique, as you notice. And when you talk to Steve right there, it's, hey, quickness. Let them work themselves out. Chasing Steve, putting him in a position where they have to run, and run. It's kind of like the run and shoot in football that Austin certainly well knows, and a linebacker to chase somebody all over the field. Nice move off the ropes, shoves him off. Good move by the shoulder, putting Simpson on the floor. And the Mean Green Machine, Steve Austin. And the first big blow in those big shoulders into Steve Simpson. Little check with Shaun over here in the corner. Right back in that headlock. Those muscles ripple on Steve Austin. Simpson's got to try to move it again. Nice job there, moving underneath. Oh, Austin saw what Simpson was going to do, come up, probably put a high-flying leg scissors on him. Oh, Austin underway. This bout, 20-minute time limit. Rolling along. Our first event on Texas World Federation Championship Wrestling. Hope you'll join us every time we're out. Simpson off the ropes, over the top, nice move. Look out right here. Into a move by Simpson off the ropes. Back and it throws Simpson off. Austin again doing a good job. Here comes Shaun in. And a double clothesline. So they're going to take on the California Stud. Well, Austin walked right into that one. And Simpson is still the official combatant in the ring. And Austin and California Stud have not decided to change yet. Austin a little perturbed, though. He's seen now that just sheer strength will not subdue these two young men. And he's going to try it. Body slam, nicely done. There's the exchange. Here comes the Stud. Oh, drop that Simpson moves away from. Simpson with an arm drag. Simpson hanging in, working the shoulder, and the California Stud having a little trouble now as he's replaced by Simpson's brother, Shaun, driving on that shoulder. And Shaun Simpson moves in. As I said, these two young men, the Simpsons, are entrepreneurs. They have a business, retail mattress concern. Foot on the bottom rope, that's an automatic break. The count now by the official. First bout. One fall. Shaun Simpson in right now with the California Stud, who at one time played professional football for the Oakland Raiders and then later the San Diego Chargers. So he knows about contests. Great move by Simpson. And another fine drop kick by Shaun Simpson, and both the Macho Men are out of the ring. Steve Austin. California Stud. They've been cleared out by the Simpsons. Time rolling along. And once again, it's a California Stud against Shaun Simpson right there. Metroplex Arena is where we're located in Dallas, just off 635 Greenville Avenue in Markville. It's the most convenient place in town. Had a lot of time. Shaun Simpson thrown off. But the California Stud doesn't like it now because the crowd's coming up with "Let's go, Shaun." A very, very exciting bout and a very quick moving bout. This time rolls along. Shaun in that arm lock. That is well barred up. Now he's going to exchange with his brother. Here comes Steve. They're going to do a jump on the shoulder. Stud can't move. He's caught. And once again, he takes the pressure on the arm, and Steve Simpson takes over. Good turn on the arm takedown. Now the arm stretch. Putting a lot of pressure. As the stud says, he had his hair pulled. But no way on that. Standing now. Oh, what a move by Steve Simpson. Oaring, blowing on that left arm of the California stud. And the Simpsons in charge in this bout. Rolling along with a hammerlock, Steve Simpson. That puts the stud into the ropes. That'll be an illegal break. Now California stud complaining about the hair pull. Well, we've got Steve and California stud working it over. See which one can take advantage of the situation right now. Over the top. And there goes the referee, bashed out on the floor. Woo! But he got gripped into the ropes, got bashed in the middle, and is down on the floor on the far side. And now Steve Simpson going down. And here comes another official out. But he took a terrible fall, got caught in the ropes, twisted back and forth. And it's going to be, obviously, a little while before he comes back. Here, watch it again now. Stud off the rope, over and underneath off the top, bashed into the rope, doubled up, and into the floor. Oh, and he, like a young man, really turned inside out. I tell you what, let's take a break while they're ministering to the official, and we'll be right back on Texas World Federation Championship Wrestling. The Metroplex Arena, sporting events and concerts. Hey, let me tell you about the great events coming up in the latter part of November and all of December. Now, on November 30th, the music, The Call, great rock group, great sound. And then on December 1st, Texas Championship Wrestling again. And we look to a great event on December 8th. It's amateur boxing, the ABF. And you see some of the great young talent in the boxing today. We've got on the December 12th some more great music. The Extreme and Danger, sponsored by The Edge, KDGE. Christmas, Christmas. It's always great to have a wrestling match on Christmas night, and that's what we have, Texas Championship Wrestling. And then on December 31st, let's wave out 1990 and start in 1991 with a big New Year's Eve party right here at the Metroplex Arena, sponsored by The Edge. The Metroplex Arena, 9244 Markville, just south of LBJ off Greenville. Join us here, the Metroplex Arena.
If you have an idea for a new product, then you know about the high risk all inventors face on the road to discovery. But I'd like to tell you about a company that can help. Call the National Idea Center right now and you'll receive free confidential forms. It's a fact that most new ideas never hit the marketplace. But if you decide to take the chance, call the National Idea Center and you'll receive free information. Call their local office right now.
The killer dolls!
These dolls, they're alive, aren't they? Toys are very loyal. And that is a fact.
All right, we're back. And they're still ministering to the official over there, Bobby Turner. And Bobby now coming up, holding his side. Probably strained some muscles, and John Modesto will come in as the official. So we'll continue the bout now after the official got shaken up and really took a terrible fall. Was dazed, hit his head on the concrete floor, and we're back and ready to go as Steve Simpson And Steve Austin, the Mean Green Machine, has him going now. Good work on that clothesline drop. Laid that arm right into the neck and the upper body. Good drop across the knee there. Backbreaker by Steve Austin. Austin on top, trying for a count. 1, 2. Steve Austin just a half count away from winning this bout. Austin and Stud. Here comes California Stud in. Perfect place to drop a big right hand on the ribs. And so Steve Simpson takes the brunt of the attack now. Well, the official has been helped out of the ring. John Renesto's taken his place. And we continue the action. Hot and heavy at the Metroplex Arena. California Stud being warned by the official after 60 seconds left in the bout. Time has flown by in this first bout. A nice roll up here. Could be it. 1, 2, but a twist off by the California Stud. Great move by Steve Simpson. Stud and Austin exchange now. Austin kicking into the midsection. See if they can work it up. About 30 seconds left in this bout. Good roll up here on the shoulders. 1, 2, and just in time, California Stud kicks Simpson in the side, and that protects the situation. Another great finish. This could be it. 1, 2, and a twist off by Steve Austin. Simpson, Austin, time running down. Here comes Austin. Falling elbow, missed with his Simpson on the move. Kick on the inside. Simpson rolled into the rope. Oh, and there's the bell. Time has run out. Simpson and the California Stud, Steve Austin, and the Simpson. All right, here we had a time limit bout, a tremendous bout between Simpsons, Steve and Shaun, Steve Austin, and the California Stud. The Simpsons are back in the dressing room, and I want to ask Steve, if the time hadn't run out, Steve, in a great bout, you think the decision would have been different?
It's a real good match, Bill. I'll tell you something, now, those are two tough guys. I'm looking forward to going against them again, but I feel like I'd like next time to have a longer time limit, because what I give up in power and muscle size, I make up with fitness and endurance. I think I could have gone that extra bit. The time was working with them and against us. With that bit of extra time, I'm almost positive. In fact, I am positive. Next time I'll have them. That's for sure.
Steve, where's Shaun? How does he feel about this?
I'm sure Shaun's cooling off in the shower after something like that. It's been a while for the two of us. The second he comes out, I'm sure he'll answer all your questions. That was a tough match, mate, but I enjoyed it. Yeah.
Well, Steve Austin, are you satisfied with the outcome of this bout?
Well, Mr. Mercer, when I think of the Simpson brothers, I think of a tag team that's been together for quite some time. And, you know, they know each other well. They work good as a team. They're high flyers. They're different from the Stud and myself. We rely on power, strength, and, of course, a lot of brains. Now, we just had a match with the Simpsons, and I've got to give them credit. They're a tough team. But had we had a little more time, we would have warmed down, and there would have been a decision. But, yes, I have respect for the Simpsons, but we might just have to pack them up in a box and ship them back to Africa.
Now, if you're going to wrestle the Simpsons again, would you change anything? Would you have a different approach to the bout?
I wouldn't change a thing. We got the power, we got the strength. We're some of the best conditioned athletes out there. We can go any time limit, any week. You know, when I think of the Simpsons, I think of Bart and Homer. I don't know about you, but they were a couple of comics out there. And next time we get them, they're all ours, baby, because there's nothing going to stop us.
Well, that's a hard choice of words by Steve Austin and the California Stud, but a great match. We look to see them in the match again at some future date. We'll be right back with our second event here on Texas World Federation Championship Wrestling right after this. The Metroplex Arena, sporting events and concerts. Hey, let me tell you about the great events coming up in the latter part of November and all of December. Now, on November 30th, the music, The Call, great rock group, great sound. And then on December 1st, Texas Championship Wrestling again. And we look to a great event on December 8th. It's amateur boxing, the ABF. And you see some of the great young talent in the boxing today. We've got on the December 12th some more great music. The Extreme and Danger, sponsored by The Edge, KDGE. Christmas. Christmas. It's always great to have a wrestling match on Christmas night, and that's what we have, Texas Championship Wrestling. And then on December 31st, let's wave out 1990 and start in 1991 with a big New Year's Eve party right here at the Metroplex Arena, sponsored by The Edge. The Metroplex Arena, 9244 Markville, just south of LBJ off Greenville. Join us here, the Metroplex Arena.
Ooh-wee! Your International House of Pancakes restaurants are going country with big country breakfasts. Look at this. Chicken fried steak and country gravy with eggs, potatoes, and 3 lip-smacking buttermilk pancakes, or biscuits and gravy with country sausage and eggs and potatoes and a plate full of buttermilk pancakes. Come and get it. Big country breakfast, just $4.99, served all day, every day.
There are some things that are difficult for us to believe in.
Some people do see apparitions.
What this couple will experience
But it was so real.
opens the door to another world,
What's happening to us?
another dimension.
Let's get out of here.
Outside of time, Carol Lindley, in possession.
No, Sylvie, don't touch her!
Saturday afternoon on Channel 27.
Angel, there in the dressing room. Let me ask you, do you foresee any real problems in this match with Terrence Garvin?
Well, you know, a guy like him, he is a pretty tricky little competitor. And I think I'll just have to pick the right spot. If the opportunity's there to use a death wish, then I'll use it. If not, I might have to catch something quick on him. And if that doesn't work, I just might have to pull something tricky out of my bag, if you know what I mean.
Angel of Death. And coming up, a big bout with Terrence Garvin. And right now, let's turn our attention to Gary Hart, matchmaker.
Hey, next you're going to have something right out of Phantom of the Opera. And maybe the Old West. Because coming to you is the Angel of Death.
The Simpsons wanted it, you wanted it. A rematch between Austin and Stud and the Simpsons, Steve and Shaun. A 1-hour rematch on December 1st at the Metroplex Arena. Shaun, they're big and strong. What's the time going to do for you?
No doubt a doubt they are the stronger of the tag teams. But let me tell you something, Bill. I think if it went a little longer, the match would definitely have been in our favor. You know, being more agile, more durability that we possess, I think they were definitely showing signs of weakness. You know, they were tiring now towards the end of the match. So if the match had gone a little longer, I think I would have been in trouble.
Steve, you think the hour is going to be an advantage?
Big advantage, man. We went 15 minutes. They were huffing and puffing. Now we're going, what, 15? We're going 30, 45, 60 minutes. Jeez, me and Shaun, we're just hitting second wins in. And another thing, Bill, I don't like those guys too much. They've been shooting their mouths on stuff. It's getting personal, you know? Hey, I'm looking forward to this rematch.
All right, it's the rematch on December 1st. It's a 1-hour time limit. The Simpsons against Austin and Stud at the Metroplex Arena, December 1st.
Would you believe this plush overstuffed pub back sofa hides a queen-size inner spring mattress? Well, it does. Bassett has packed a lot of cozy comfort into these sleep sofas on sale at Haverty's. This sleeper would go beautifully in a formal setting. And how about this one in a fresh country plaid? Your choice, $5.99. And now at Haverty's, no interest charges for 1 year.
Haverty's makes it home.
When you told your husband that your child was your father's baby, how did he take it?
On the next Sally Jesse Raphael, a family secret hidden for years.
I had no idea what was going on. You tried to kill yourself?
Yes, I did.
An unthinkable truth.
My husband knew that I was raped, but didn't know who it was by.
Unspeakable acts.
You want to hurt this person.
Real stories on the next Sally.
Tonight at 9 on Channel 27.
And we're back here at the Metroplex Arena in Dallas, Texas for our next event here on Texas World Federation Championship Wrestling. That's the Angel of Death in the ring with Ali Farouk. Talking about Farouk, well, you have a hard time. It's one of those interesting, almost spy-like investigation you have to put on Farouk, the Angel of Death, you just saw a moment ago in one of his natural surroundings. But Farouk is from the Sudan, at least that's what he says. You know, he's a little vague about that. But he is a businessman who makes contacts with wrestlers and takes them into the Mideast. So there are things that Farouk does, like carry the trumpet for the Angel. And here comes Terrence Garvin, brother of gorgeous Jimmy Garvin. Terrence, very artistic-like, as though he might put paint on canvas. Well, we'll see if he can put the Angel of Death on the canvas. As the lovely Don Baptiste hands the microphone to Doyle.
For one fall, it has a 20-minute time limit. Introducing first, directly in front of me, from Louisville, Kentucky, weighing in at 222 pounds, please welcome Terry Garvin. Manager Ali Farouk presents, weighing in at 307 pounds, from Death Valley, California, the Angel of Death. John Renesto, your official.
And we're ready to go in this bout. John Renesto, the official. Coming in to sit in with me is Sam Cohen, who's the father of the Simpsons. And Sam, it's nice to have you come in with us and tell us about some things during this bout.
Thanks very much for having me here, Bill. I find it very interesting. I'd just like the people to know that I do come from Europe, and I am from Africa, and I am representing the European Wrestling Alliance this evening.
All right, we're going to be talking about that as Terry Garvin and the Angel of Death begin to go. And, of course, the Texas World Federation of Wrestling is a federation that has associations, and having those associations with you and with the European group would be very beneficial for talent.
Yes. Everybody in Europe is talking about the Texas World Federation, and I think that this particular federation will go from success to success.
Well, the crowd is, at the moment, is not enjoying the trumpet work of the Angel. I think his audience, as Ali Farouk is here to my right, his audience that you saw in our opening event on tape probably was more respectful. And that little tune is for Terrence Garvin. So I hope that neither one of those guys comes flying out here, Sam, and lands on that trumpet. It might mess him up more than us.
He's an awesome-looking character, this Angel, isn't he?
He is indeed, and he is one who does not give much mercy. In fact, his most important role, he says, is to kind of lay bodies around. Well, we'll see about that. John Renesto already having trouble. That is a choke drop. And Terry Garvin had trouble immediately with the Angel of Death. An A on his back, as you will see on the back of his trunks, has a great resemblance a group of California Angels who are more interested in winning than losing. So Terry Garvin trying to get it going. And he does come in with a nice headlock and holds it in there. Sam, one of the interesting things we were talking about this afternoon was that as Garvin goes off, here comes, oh, nice stop by Angel. That all the federations have a sort of a get-together in Europe, is that?
Yes, they have the World Nations tournaments, and normally from Australia, New Zealand, wherever you can imagine, some representative will come through.
Well, the Angel is caught right now. His leg scissors by Terrence Garvin. Nice work by Garvin. Our guest here sitting ringside with us is Sam Cohen, who's highly respected throughout the world for his involvement, his promotion, his development of world federations and the federation in South Africa and in Europe. And he's been, of course, a wrestling instructor. You see that in his sons, Steve and Shaun. Good work by the Angel. Well, when you got a guy that big, it's a takedown like that. Nice move. That's what a little guy, Sam, can really use his quickness to advantage.
Very, very agile, this Terrence. I'm very surprised indeed. I didn't think that I would see this type of wrestling with him. I mean, he's a big guy. He's much heavier, and Garvin is there for him.
Nice move by Garvin on the Angel of Death, who once again has that leg scissors in as the referee says, hey, you want to give up? No way. He's holding his head. For the most part across Europe, Sam, it may be a generality to talk about it, but the television systems are state-controlled, so we have a little different situation, I guess, for you to look at in the commercial world of American wrestling.
I have a lot to learn. People ask me that question, and I tell everybody in America I'm only an apprentice. I must tell you something interesting. You know that the Angel of Death was in South Africa 3 years ago, and he really left his mark. He came back unbeaten.
He can do that, and he's trying to leave his mark right now on Terrence Garvin on the mat of Texas World Federation Wrestling. And carrying him around now, looking for a place to deposit Terrence Garvin, and this is a driving body slam. And a one. Oh, no. The Angel of Death said, no way, I'm not ready yet. The big man doesn't like the cheering section for Terry Garvin. And 1 foot dropped him. And Ali Farouk is over here looking at the world above. Good move by the Angel again, using the hair. But I think he'll use most anything. Five minutes in this bout, and Garvin looking very determined facially, but I'm not sure he can pull it out physically. In Texas World Federation, Sam, we're seeing the development of a lot of new talent, and around the world, you must be watching for that.
I am. Right now, we're busy putting a tour together for this coming January for South Africa, and I'm almost sure a lot of Texans are going to be represented down that way.
Standing head twist by the Angel, and Garvin says, no way I'll quit. I can use my muscles in my neck to hold this off. And John Renesto looks in, keeps a careful look on that head to be sure that the Angel is not pulling hair. Garvin slamming into the left side, into the rib of the Angel. Nice elbow move by Garvin. In there again. And Terrence Garvin drives a forearm shiver across the head of the Angel. Up there again, and the Angel in trouble right now as Garvin comes pounding off the top rope. Angel of Death maybe finding his own Waterloo right here as Garvin really explodes in this bout. Over the top, but the Angel of Death comes right back, watching for Farouk over the other side. See him right there? I'm not sure how his involvement would be here, but good miss. Right move on top. Trying 1, 2, and not in time for 3. And now Farouk does come in. And the Angel is trying to find his trumpet right here in front of us, and does. There's a flying body slam. 1, 2, 3. Garvin putting Farouk down. And Farouk interfered. So Terrence Garvin will pick up the victory. I mean, if you wrestle one, well, Terry Garvin has beat the odds. And Farouk is down, and so is the Angel of Death. And we're going to come back for another exciting bout on Texas World Federation Wrestling right after this.
What a rush. My name is Gary Hart, and when I get out of line, I always go to the chiropractic clinic of Dr. Kevin Witt, right here in Euless. But matter of fact, anyone throughout the mid-cities or the Dallas-Fort Worth area, if you're out of line, Dr. Kevin Witt can get you back in. He's your man.
Bubba Berry for Berry's Boots and Jeans. We got the greatest boot buys in Texas. For example, get the all-new lace-up ropers at $78. Compare it at $119. Or get regular ropers for $48. We're Berry's Boots and Jeans, located in Fort Worth at the corner of 820 and Jacksboro Highway, in North Richland Hills at 820 Ruth Snow, and in Arlington at 2101 East Division, just 3 blocks west of 360. Why would you shop anywhere else except the #1 boot stores in Texas, Berry's Boots and Jeans? I'll see...
These dolls, they're alive, aren't they? Toys are very loyal. And that is a fact.
Rodney D. Young presents When the World Was Young, History Was Made with the invention of the speeding ticket.
Pull over, ma'am.
Are you?
Yes, ma'am. I'm the cop. And you're doing 5 paces in a 3-pace zone.
Such a bad girl.
But today, Rodney D. Young can offer you affordable auto insurance even with some speeding tickets.
Have a nice day, ma'am.
Call 943-7303 today.
Think young, Rodney D. Young.
I think it is safe to assume and say that one of the most sinister and dangerous men in professional wrestling today is Abdullah the Butcher. The Butcher is a man of seemingly no regard for the welfare of his opponent in any situation. And running along with him as a sort of guru is Ali Farouk, a man who says he hails from the Mideast out of somewhere around Sudan. But he's sort of a shadowy figure who gives us something to wonder about. And I think as we watch this tape now, roll with me as we look at Ali Farouk and Abdullah the Butcher. Right here, the Butcher's picture, a sort of self-flagellation by Ali Farouk as he goes through the ministrations of his religious fanaticism toward this face. Ali Farouk, the strange man, and Abdullah the Butcher. Sinister, sinister. Now that's the introduction to Ali Farouk and Abdullah the Butcher. An opportunity to see here the sort of fanaticism that Ali Farouk shows toward the Butcher. There's a fanaticism about the Butcher. Let's see that now as we roll into the tape, and you'll see the kind of man he is. Right here, though, coming to the ring, here again is that almost fanatical guru approach that Ali Farouk shows, that he is the man who ministers to the Butcher and seeks another source for his energy. Now that is the beginning of a bout. Let's move into the bout, and you'll see Ali Farouk and the Butcher in action as we have seen them at the Metroplex Arena here in Dallas, Texas. That's the Butcher with Al Perez, the Texas World Federation champion. Notice Farouk always seeming to call on something above the lights, something that is not in the arena. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. Right now, the Butcher is working dramatically in his own sadistic sort of approach toward Al Perez, the champion. We have to watch Ali Farouk, though he may be off in another sort of world, we will find it can also be one who interferes. No matter how hard an opponent of the Butcher may try, he will find it almost impossible to just easily put him away. You'll notice this now in the Perez and Farouk battle. Perez fighting well, pulling the huge man, 350 pounds or more, and it looks like he carries a couple of extra spare tires around just in case something blows. And Perez into the corner post, a chair on the head, just absolutely destroying this man, but still the Butcher goes on. And I suppose in the term of a profession, that's why he is called Abdullah the Butcher. He can absorb and he can give as much as he takes. And we see then that the Butcher is a fighter. It's practically impossible to just destroy him. Here, Perez has him in great shape, a bloodied, battered, huge behemoth. Perez, the champion, bashing, falling, elbows flailing, blood flowing. He has the man in a perfect situation. His own situation looked particularly grave. But right here, Farouk. And Perez handles him. So we see that Farouk not only can give us a look of the guru outside the ring, but interfere in the ring. Now that is a great portent of things to come. And we will see those things as we go into this piece of film that was spirited from Japan. Confiscated, I guess, would be the best thing to say, because the Japanese, who are kindly, friendly people, were not pleased at all at the way Abdullah the Butcher purported himself in Japan. So maybe an American ninja took this out, confiscated the tape, and spirited it away so that we'd have an opportunity to see it. I think the last piece of tape you'll see illustrates the inhuman quality that the sinister Abdullah the Butcher can display. There he is, moving through the crowd of Japanese who are, very kindly people and people who do not like to lose face or be embarrassed. And watch the Butcher here grabbing a cameraman and tossing him aside, certainly insulting those people at whom he is a guest. Now, you have seen just about every part of this man, Abdullah the Butcher, and Ali Farouk, who is his guru. I don't know that the only thing that we would say that is left for you to do is to see him in person here at the Metroplex Arena, or wherever you might notice that he is on a card throughout the world, across the United States, South America, Europe, Asia, South Africa, wherever he might appear. He is devastating, he is sinister, he is extremely dangerous. And every wrestler knows that once he's in the ring with that man, Abdullah the Butcher, he has just more than he can possibly handle. We look forward to the opportunity and hope that he would be on this card tonight. But he was in Japan, as I told you, to Egg Dome in Japan, and was unable to perform on this edition of Texas World Federation Wrestling. But he will be here. He will be on our next program possibly, and you will have an opportunity to see him live and in person. So, Abdullah the Butcher, Ali Farouk, a sinister pair to deal with. It's a rematch, December 1st. Austin and Stud against the Simpsons, Steve and Shaun. A 1-hour time limit, and that's just exactly what Steve Austin, the Simpsons, wanted.
Well, that's the Simpsons wanted that.
Sure, they want a 1-hour time limit. They think they can wear you down.
Well, that's the problem right there. The only reason we didn't take care of the Simpsons in the first place, hey, they're a couple of high-flying guys. I'll give them credit. They're in shape. But me and Stud, that's our strong point, baby. We've been in the gym. We've been tossing the bricks around. Hey, a 1-hour time limit is right up our alley. So a 1-hour time limit, 1, 2, 3. The Texas Wrestling Federation champions will rule supreme.
Yeah, but they think that you'll kind of run out of gas.
I don't think so, Stud. Will we run out of gas or not?
Hey, baby, like it or not, we got enough gas to go.
Well, gas to go. That's what they want. That's what they got. Austin and Stud against the Simpsons, Metroplex Arena, December 1st. It's a 1-hour time limit. It's big-time Texas wrestling.
Watch out!
Just thought I'd run off with another woman, eh?
Bizarre.
Bizarre?
Baffling.
Baffling?
Watch Remington Steele, weeknights at 10:30 on Channel 27.
What would you say if Pizza Hut served up fully loaded Supreme pizzas for the never-before-low price of just $6.99 each?
Oh, baby, that's what I like.
It's the Holiday Feast deal. So this holiday season, hurry into Pizza Hut for the deal that's got everyone saying.
Oh, baby, that's what I like. Pizza Hut, making it great.
Hurry into Pizza Hut now for Eureka's Castle Puppets. Eureka and Batley are 99 cents each, and Magellan's $1.49 when your family enjoys any Pizza Hut pizza.
Ah, here we have something that is indeed enticing to the youngsters in our audience, the American Ninja. Well, ninja, you know what that is. And this ninja is a well-trained and highly skilled master of the Asian arts. As we'll see right here, that's one way to break into a big can and get your vitamins right here. Well, the ninja's a big thing right now in the world, and the ninja is ready to go in our next bout here on Texas World Federation Wrestling.
Introducing behind me, wrestling from the red corner tonight, weighing in at 252 pounds, from Cowtown, Fort Worth, Texas, Cowboy Tony. His opponent for this bout, from the United States of America, he weighs in at 2 1/4, the American Ninja.
And back in action, our referee, Bobby Turner, who suffered the injury in the earlier bout. He got wrapped up in the ropes and hit the floor, but he seems to be okay. Cowboy gets it underway in a hurry. The American Ninja takes some shots. Texas World Federation Wrestling from the beautiful Metroplex Arena of 635 Greenville Avenue in Markville, north side of Dallas. A great location, a beautiful building, and a great crowd tonight enjoying Texas World Federation Wrestling. The Cowboy trying to get an early start as he did on the American Ninja and to make this one fly quickly. Bobby Turner, forearm smash on the inside, and the Cowboy trying to get his cheering section underway. Well, ninjas have a great way of recuperating, coming back, and taking things in their own hands. We'll see if this American Ninja can pull that off. Work it again. Cowboy. The pop on the head, and the American Ninja in trouble in the corner. And a great array of the world's greatest wrestlers. You've seen Austin and Studd, the Simpsons. Coming up, Al Perez, the Texas Wrestling Federation champion. Oh, Ninja with a move. Cowboy takes one, and not two. Ninja moving out in a hurry. Dropping in again. The American Ninja with a knee in the back and a count of 1 and 2, and again he flails out of there, protecting himself. American Ninja hanging on the ropes. Cowboy popping away with a fist, and a warning that time from the referee. Here comes Ninja, and nice move underneath that elbow. Underneath again, and up on top. Look out. A judo chop across there, and the American Ninja, like he has the advantage, does with that quick, that sweeping move on top. 1, 2, 3, and a great recovery. As you would think a ninja would do, the American Ninja recovering and coming back to beat the Cowboy.
Ninja.
The Metroplex Arena, that's where it is right now. The Texas World Federation of Wrestling, and we'll be right back with more excitement right after this.
What a rush. My name is Gary Hart, and when I get out of line, I always go to the chiropractic clinic of Dr. Kevin Witt, right here in Euless. But matter of fact, anyone throughout the mid-cities or the Dallas-Fort Worth area, if you're out of line, Dr. Kevin Witt can get you back in. He's your man.
I had an accident here in the dock a few months ago and injured my lower back. I needed professional treatment to stop the numbness. Then a friend told me about K-Clinic. I called K-Clinic's professional staff of doctors for my appointment, and no money was required on my first visit. K-Clinic's doctors provided relief from the pain and the paperwork, and K-Clinic even had a medical legal liaison to help me. If you've been injured at work, call the doctors at K-Clinic today. They can help you too.
In Dallas, call Clinic 6. In Fort Worth, call 6 Clinic. Do it now.
There are some things that are difficult for us to believe in.
Some people do see apparitions.
What this couple will experience
But it was so real.
opens the door to another world,
What's happening to us?
another dimension.
Let's get out of here.
Outside of time, Carol Lindley, In Possession.
No, Sylvia, don't touch her!
Saturday afternoon on Channel 27.
Billy, you're in big trouble. Look at that stain. Mom will make you stand for 6 weeks. Maybe even 6 years.
You can't treat those tough laundry stains if you don't see them. No wonder so many ended up in the dryer, set for life. But today, Biz Bleach added with your detergent powers out many stains you don't see before it's too late.
So, Billy, what'd Mom say about your shirt? Nothing.
Biz gets the stains that get by you.
Texas World Federation Championship Wrestling. It's a great title. And it's a new company, a company promoting wrestling across the nation and here at the Metroplex Arena. So I journeyed over to the corporate offices to meet the principals involved. Come with us. Gary, Rodney, how are you?
Bill.
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Good to see you. Just came in from a football practice.
Thank you for making
Glad
it
to
look
talk
like
to you.
football.
Gentlemen, thank you for taking time off here before the preparations for your first wrestling show. Rodney, tell us about AC Productions, the Metroplex Arena, and you as general manager.
Well, AC Productions is an international entertainment corporation. Locally, we operate the Metroplex Arena and host a wealth of entertainment such as sporting events, concerts, and we also rent the building out for private functions.
Okay, how does Gary Hart fit into this concept of the new class wrestling?
Well, we brought Mr. Hart in. He brings a wealth of knowledge and experience. He also brings to it the ability to get talent, both nationally and internationally for us.
Well, Gary, I've known you for many years as a wrestler, and then as a manager, and now as, what, a matchmaker?
Now I'm officially the matchmaker for the Metroplex Arena. There's something that I wanted to do for quite some time, but I wanted to make sure that I was with the right company before I made that move. Basically, what my job is, Bill, is I bring the wrestlers together, make the matches. And what I'm trying to do is keep it as competitive as possible. Where anytime you see a match, it's going to be pretty hard for you to figure out who's going to win because they're going to be just a hairline apart on talent.
Gary, you've been noted over the years for developing and finding new talent, such as Maniac Mark Lewin, the great Kabuki, and many others. How about the accessibility of new talent in the world today?
Well, I'm going to travel extensively and look for new talent all over the world and develop and create as much new talent as we possibly can. That's going to be one of the main things we're after. New talent's got to come from somewhere, and I hope the wrestlers of the 90 comes from the Metroplex Arena.
Fans hear free agency in baseball and football and other professional sports. There's free agency in wrestling and other alliances today. Can you sign these guys? You got enough to do it?
Oh, yes. We're well-financed. I think there'll be no problem. As soon as wrestlers from other alliances that you're familiar with come available, they're free agents, sure, we're going to bid on them. And I think you'll see them at the Metroplex Arena.
Let me ask both of you this question. First, Gary, what does it mean to use the term putting class back into wrestling?
To me, Bill, it's very simple. To have both opponents to be competitive, and to have a winner and to have a loser. And you don't have someone running in during the match and getting the match thrown out. You don't have disqualifications and countouts. You basically give the people what they pay to see, a winner and a loser, and at the Metroplex, that's what we're going to have.
Rodney, tell me what you think about the word class in wrestling today.
I agree with Mr. Hart. As we embarked on this, we did a tremendous amount of research that showed that there was a tremendous void in the market with the winners and the losers and classy style wrestling. I think Texas style wrestling is recognized around the world, and that's what we are out to achieve here.
All right, Gary, speaking of class, what about the biggest event in the new wrestling program coming up?
Okay, it's Al Perez, who everyone knows. At one time I managed Al. I think he's a fantastic wrestler. And Matt Boren, a man that I managed also. And it's really a treat for me to sit back and see two of my former wrestlers that I managed have at it, and I don't have to do anything but just sit back and enjoy it. That's going to be different, isn't it?
Good. Well, that was my visit to AC Productions, the masterminds of the Texas World Federation Championship Wrestling. And now we're back here at the Metroplex Arena, and coming up this evening, our main event is one that should just excite the entire wrestling world. It features Al Perez, who's the Texas World Federation Championship champion, and his challenger is the internationally known Matt Boren. Matt's in the dressing room. I wanted to ask him, Matt, now you've got this bout coming up, and I want to know if you're going to play by the rules, or do you think you and Perez are going to let everything just fly apart?
You know, this is a question, Bill, I've been asked time and time again. And, you know, most people, they look at Al Perez and they see a good-looking guy. They see a guy with a great body, a guy with all the talent in the world you could possibly imagine. But then they look at me and they see a guy that, well, I don't really know if I can trust this guy. I don't really know if I could put all my beans in his basket. Well, I'll tell you what, I don't really care whose beans are in my basket, because when I go out there, and especially if it's for a title, I do things for Matt Boren. I'm not trying to please nobody. I'm trying to please me, and I usually succeed in whatever I'm doing.
What a rush. My name is Gary Hart, and when I get out of line, I always go to the chiropractic clinic of Dr. Kevin Witt, right here in Euless. But matter of fact, anyone throughout the mid-cities or the Dallas-Fort Worth area, if you're out of line, Dr. Kevin Witt can get you back in. He's your man.
It's a rematch, December 1st. Austin and Stud against the Simpsons, Steve and Shaun. A 1-hour time limit, and that's just exactly what Steve Austin, the Simpsons, wanted.
Well, you know, that's the Simpsons wanted that.
Sure, they want a 1-hour time limit. They think they can wear you down.
Well, you know, that's the problem right there. You know, the only reason we didn't take care of the Simpsons in the first place, hey, they're a couple of high-flying guys. I'll give them credit. They're in shape. But me and Stud, that's our strong point, baby. We've been in the gym. We've been tossing the bricks around. Hey, a 1-hour time limit is right up our alley. So 1-hour time limit, 1, 2, 3. The Texas Wrestling Federation champions will rule supreme.
Yeah, but they think that you'll kind of run out of gas.
I don't think so, Stud. Will we run out of gas or not?
Hey, baby, like it or not, we got enough gas to go.
Well, gas to go. That's what they want. That's what they got. Austin and Stud against the Simpsons, Metroplex Arena, December 1st. It's a 1-hour time limit. It's big-time Texas wrestling.
At C&R, we offer the do-it-yourself homeowner all-wood kitchen cabinets at builder's prices. Our warehouse contains practically every size and shape cabinet. Fine detail like all-wood drawers with ball-bearing slides, 3/4 wood shelves, and a choice of doors, flat, raised, or cathedral raised panels. Our cabinets contain no particle board. We custom build countertops or custom cut factory tops. Save even more by staining or painting our unfinished maple cabinets. At C&R, a beautiful kitchen is limited only by your imagination.
I've been hurt on the job. Can't work. Can I see any doctor I want? If injured at work or in a car wreck, call Joe Bird, attorney.
We wrecked. I'm hurt. I don't have any money to see a doctor.
Call Joe Bird, attorney, to file on insurance claims. I don't have any insurance, but the wreck was his fault. What can I do? Joe Bird can help you. Call for a free initial consultation. There are no legal fees unless successful. Joe Bird, attorney at law. Call now.
When you told your husband that your child was your father's baby,
How did he take it?
On the next Sally Jesse Raphael, a family secret hidden for years.
I had no idea what was going on. You tried to kill yourself?
Yes, I did.
An unthinkable truth.
My husband knew that I was raped, but didn't know who it was by.
Unspeakable acts.
You want to hurt this person.
Real stories on the next Sally.
Tonight at 9 on Channel 27.
And we're back at the Metroplex Arena. And the lovely Dawn Batiste takes the microphone over to Doyle, and we're ready to go.
This match scheduled for one fall with a 20-minute time limit. Introducing wrestling from the red corner tonight from Hollywood, California. He weighs in at 267 pounds, Hollywood John Tatum. His opponent for this bout, from Texarkana, Arkansas, weighing in at 260 pounds, Action Jackson.
Action Jackson, Perry Jackson from Arkansas. And he has a lot of action. John Hollywood Tatum. Big John, always tough, always dangerous. In this great world of professional wrestling. Now Perry says, no way, we're going to have a handshake. John's reputation precedes him, maybe. And Tatum and Jackson getting it underway here at the Metroplex Arena. Texas World Federation Wrestling. Big John looking for an opening. Taking Perry to the corner. Our cummerbund referee keeping things in tow. Perry takes a look, gets a laugh. And Perry does not want to shake hands. Moves into a nice headlock. Here comes Jackson. There he goes over the top. Look at that move by Tatum. And Jackson throws that well-trained shoulder into the head and in the shoulder of Tatum, who takes a bounce off this big bright ring. You know, you look at these young men today, you see the continuing and outstanding development of wrestling in the world. You think back to those who have laid the groundwork. And of course, Texas wrestling is something special and always has been. Texas wrestling that we knew of in that era when Lou Thez was a champion who kept winning and winning and winning, even when losses would come back to him. Came back to be champion more time than any other man in the world. Perry Jackson tightening up on that headlock. Tatum holds it in tight. There goes Perry. Here comes all that action back and forth. Look out. John Tatum with a move, another move. Catches and hard. Dropped by Perry Jackson. And John says, oh, got to be trunk pull. Official referee said, no way. Action. That's the name of the game with Perry. A different style of action when talking about Texas wrestling than a man like Duke Kiyomuka, who is so much of a legend, even in the circles today. Johnny Valentine. There's one you might not remember. Johnny Valentine set all sorts of marks. Remarkable world of wrestling. But John Tatum putting marks on Perry Jackson right now. Perry caught in that corner, so Tatum has an advantage into the corner buckle. Look out. John, that's not the way to do it. Arm drag by Perry, and the action man is in charge again with that extended arm lock. Good move by Jackson. You know, what I saw John Tatum come in the ring, and reminiscing here a bit about some of the great names in wrestling. But John came in with that lovely flowing robe of his with all the ostrich feathers. The man who set that style, who most of you are well known and well versed in wrestling history, was the gorgeous George man. He was something. Uh-oh, John Tatum came down on that right knee. He went up nicely underneath. Moved Perry, and Tatum comes down on the right knee. And looks like he might have pulled the ligament, strained it some way. And he is in agony right now. Tatum came down like a football player sometimes comes down on that long edge of the foot. And he is, he's giving us a little bit of a dipsy-do right there, and comes right back, drops Jackson with that same right knee, that same foot. Ah, yes, learning always from those who've preceded. The great men in this business learn from the others. Big John, taking a look over here. There goes Perry. Here it comes. Oh, Tatum with a foot right in the face. And a forearm shiver, and Tatum hits the deck. Perry Jackson in action now. He's upset in the corner. Look out, Perry's got him again. Tatum in the corner again. Tatum moves. Foul. Perry Jackson lands in the corner. Here comes Tatum. 1, 2, 3, and wins the bout. John Tatum. John Tatum pulls it in. And Perry Action Jackson looked like he had it, but not quite. Bam! You know, one of the things that's important in this business is matchmaking. Gary Hart is indeed that. Got a message from him.
Glad I'm out of the managing business and into the matchmaking business, because this match is coming in next to you. Al Perez and Matt Bourne, I'd be right in the middle of it. I'd rather be here at my Steinway. Stay tuned, you're gonna love it.
The Simpsons wanted it, you wanted it. A rematch between Austin and Stud and the Simpsons, Steve and Shaun. A 1-hour rematch on December 1st at the Metroplex Arena. Shaun, they're big and strong. What's the time going to do for you?
No doubt a doubt they are the stronger of the tag teams. But let me tell you something, Bill. I think if it went a little longer, the match would definitely would have been in our favor. You know, being more agile, more durability that we possess, I think they were definitely showing signs of weakness. You know, they were tiring out towards the end of the match. So if the match had gone a little longer, I think they would have been in trouble.
Steve, you think the hour is going to be an advantage?
Big advantage, man. We went 15 minutes. They were huffing and puffing. Now we're going, what, 15? We're going 30, 45, 60 minutes. Jeez, me and Shaun, we're just hitting second wins then. And another thing, Bill, I don't like those guys too much. They've been shooting their mouths on stuff. It's getting personal. You know, hey, I'm looking forward to this rematch.
All right, it's the rematch on December 1st. It's a 1-hour time limit. The Simpsons against Austin and Stud at the Metroplex Arena, December 1st.
Ooh-wee! Your International House of Pancakes restaurants are going country with big country breakfasts. Look at this. Chicken fried steak and country gravy with eggs, potatoes, and 3 lip-smacking buttermilk pancakes, or biscuits and gravy with country sausage and eggs and potatoes and a plate full of buttermilk pancakes. Come and get it. Big country breakfast, just $4.99, served all day, every day.
They're alive, aren't they? Toys are very loyal. And that is a fact.
Bubba Berry for Berry's Boots and Jeans. Boots have always played a major role in our Western heritage. And me, I've been cowboying all my life, so I know great boots and great boot buys. Like snake boots at $119, antelope, bullhide, calf, and shark at $89. Plenty of ladies and children's ropers and cowboy boots. And if you need work boots, we've got those too. Berry's Boots and Jeans, located in Fort Worth at 820 Jacksboro Highway, in Northwestern Hills at 820 Ruth Snow, and in Arlington at 2101 East Division, just 3 blocks west of 360.
Next, the SFM Holiday Network presents
come to the stable. They were two determined nuns with a very definite mission in mind.
We came to build a hospital here. $500 to raise in one day, it might as well be $1 million.
I'd really give a small fortune just to beat them once.
What they need is a miracle, and it comes at an unexpected time and in an unexpected way. Loretta Young and Celeste Holmes star in Come to the Stable, next from the SFM Holiday Network.
We are just minutes away from the main event, the heavyweight championship bout here on Metroplex Arena's Texas World Championship Federation. Now, I know, Matt Bourne, you're still listening in the dressing room, and a moment ago I did ask you about the rules, but the Federation and the people here in the arena are concerned that you still plan to bend or break the rules. Now, come on, explain that to us.
Well, I never like to say that I ever break a rule. I stretch the rules once in a while. When a match becomes intense, like I'm sure Al Perez and myself will be, some rules will be stretched. Now, I'm not saying they're going to be made by me. I'm not going to be saying that it's going to be done by him. But when things get stretched, that's when Al Perez gets a gut check, and Matt Bourne's the one that's giving it to him.
All right, Matt, that's fine. Now, I know you as a challenger have to have tremendous confidence in yourself, and that's acceptable. But now, do you really believe that you are the best wrestler in the state of Texas and the Federation?
You know, Bill, that's a question I think that goes without saying. I think in the people's eyes, whether they'd like to admit it or not, that I am the toughest man in the Texas Wrestling Federation. Now, you can sit there, you people sitting at home watching me. Well, this guy, he's got a big head. This guy, well, listen to him. He's talking out of his rear end. Well, I'm just telling you people exactly the facts. I'm the kind of guy that everybody wishes they could dig down in their guts and be like. And Al Perez, that's including Al Perez. He's the champion. I've got to go at him. So I'm going to be the aggressor, and it's just let's wait and see whether he can take it or not.
Main event. Matt Bourne comes to the ring. Texas World Federation Championship. The main event. And here's the champion, Al Perez. And now, here's Doyle King.
This match is scheduled for 2 out of 3 falls. It has a 30-minute time limit. This bout is to determine the heavyweight champion of the Texas Wrestling Federation. Introducing first, the challenger, weighing in at 260 pounds, from Portland, Oregon, Maniac Matt Bourne. And your champion, the Texas heavyweight champion, from Tampa, Florida, weighing in at 245 pounds, please welcome Al Perez.
Matt Bourne and Al Perez. And they do battle here for the championship of the Texas World Federation. Matt Bourne, 28 years old, son of tough Tony Bourne, who was a great wrestler in his own right. And the champion, Al Perez, from Tampa, Florida. Matt Bourne hails from Oregon. And this is the best 2 out of 3 falls to determine if there'll be a new champion or if Perez will retain that championship. Here on Texas World Federation Championship Wrestling. Bourne, rough and tough and sometimes a little awkward in his moves, but always the man who can put his opponent away suddenly and quite decisively. Bourne and Al Perez feeling it out right now. Bourne, as you can tell by his body structure, is quite interested in weightlifting. And he's got a new hobby now. We talked about the other day, skydiving, parachute jumping. It'll take a pretty good sized parachute to haul him down. Perez in the corner with Matt Bourne. Both of these wrestlers have had success in claiming titles. And that's Perez. Fighting off Bourne right now, trying to keep him out of there. John Renesto, the referee, also caught in the middle. And he's warning Bourne about staying in there too tightly after the break. These two for the championship. Perez holds it. Bourne wants it. Perez has been the Texas heavyweight champion. World-class heavyweight champion. When you talk of world-class, you talk about that great Von Erich family, led by Fritz. Bourne taking shots on the inside. Perez with a knee to the midsection. But Bourne continues to bear and bore in. Stay on his opponent, not let him have room to function. Like a good fighter who stays right on top of the man. He has to take some punishment, but he takes it gladly. Perez has also been the South African heavyweight champion. We're talking to Sam Cohen a moment ago. Here's one man who went down there and took it all. Perez trying to find his way inside. Bourne trays in, moves down, Moses. Really got a leg lock, not a toe hold. He's got his body over there, leaning in, keeping pressure on that left knee. And while Perez has been Texas heavyweight champion, so has Matt Bourne. He's also been on a tag team championship in Texas, the World Tag Team Championship. That was Bourne on the break, and that's exactly what Renesto is upset about earlier, as that Perez underneath the bottom rope, Bourne throws an elbow into his head. But Bourne, it said, not the smooth, agile type as a Perez, will keep that pressure on inside and keep the heavy time going. Bourne almost landed in this table on that shot by Perez. Hard right hand. That's 2 out of 3 falls, and that's the way to determine a championship. A little more time limited, giving them a chance to work through and see if they can find that moment when they can turn the momentum whichever way to the advantage, either the champion or to the challenger. Like Bourne right there. Took a hard shot to the jaw and fought his way back. Bourne likes to put his man away with the atomic drop from the top rope. And Perez has a great finishing hold and a spinning toe hold. So we'll look for those as each man tries to wear the other down. There's a nice roll-up by Bourne, a count of 2, and Perez just flailing out, and Perez realizes he is in a battle. It's not going to be easy against Matt Bourne. Took on the nickname Maniac several years back because of his kind of wild attitude, but I think he enjoys that, though he is not. He is a very intelligent and very sharp and cagey individual, so he uses that to his advantage, which probably upsets his opponent sometime if they don't know him. Bull Curry used to do that. Remember old wild Bull Curry? I remember him well. Kicked me in the head one time, sitting ringside. You don't forget a guy like this who pounds you in the head with his toe. Nice inside toe hold right now by Perez. Well, the Bull is a memory now. As Pat O'Connor, a great man we lost not too long ago. Ah, the great ones. Now Perez. Ooh, that hurts. That knee drop into the inside of the knee. That's a stinger. In football, when a player gets a stinger on the knee and that nerve is hit, sometimes paralyzes the leg and they think they've lost everything. They think they've lost the knee. Well, that's what happens right there. As Perez drops in on that knee of Matt Bourne. So time is a factor here, but time is also a factor in that this is the first fall. Here's a little pull with the trucks, a nice move with the body scissors. Hair pull, Matt Bourne. But if there is a winner in this first fall, somebody wins the first fall, we take a short watch, look at everything, and then move forward. It keeps rolling. There has to be a winner. And a championship, like a boxing championship, it goes 15 rounds. Find the endurance, the man who's able to work his way through the various pitfalls of the match. We'll see here two outstanding competitors. The champion standing and Bourne coming up. And Bourne has a knee problem now. His legs had gone to sleep on it. You wonder with a man like Al Perez, looking, he's on the ropes right now. Big and strong. Ooh, hard shot to mid. Shot across the face and into the chest. Here's Bourne on the attack, and Perez fights right back. Good shot. And a kick down, and Perez takes advantage of it. Spinning toe hold, this might do it. Is Bourne going to give? Will he concede? That's the spinning toe hold. How much pressure can Bourne take? Again, Perez spins on that. This is his finishing hold. He's got the spinning inside toe hold right now. John Renesta looking in. Will Bourne? Nope, he rolls up the champion. 1, 2, and not quite 3. What a great recovery by Bourne. That's the mark of a challenger, a champion, who is in serious trouble like this right now and fights his way through and doesn't concede. Knee drop to the left leg, and Bourne is going to take a rest. So Matt Bourne surveys the scene from the floor of the beautiful Metroplex Arena on Markville Road, just off Greenville in North Dallas, off 635. You know, the folks up there in the sky boxes have their own view. The Kazudi Skybox. We're down here in the lower level, down here in steerage. Perez taking the punishment from Matt Bourne. Bourne explodes, the champion in trouble. And a forearm. And a kickback, and Perez really taking it as Bourne has recovered, and Bourne is all wrapped up now with the crowd coming into it. Perez a little shaken, a little unsteady on his legs. Missing that big move. Spinning toe hold here. Drop into the leg, drop into the leg. Look out, this could be Perez at his best, and Bourne is in trouble. The main event. Perez setting it up. Setting it up. The inside step over toe hold. He's got it well pressured right now. In the knee and in the hip. A pullback. Well, that's a revealing kind of move. But it didn't help Bourne too much. At least it broke the hold momentarily. Inside on the leg again. And Al Perez, the champion, trying to finish it off with that toe hold that he's famous for. You know, one thing he does, and you can imagine with a guy with the size and strength, he loves to play golf. He probably can drive that ball 300 yards. Matt Bourne trying to find an opening. Perez won't let him take the opportunity to recover on that left leg, and a drop in there again on the nerve on the inside of the leg. Oh, that hurt. This is for the Texas Federation World Championship, and Perez is the champion. Matt Bourne in trouble, but trying to fight his way through in this best 2 out of 3 fall championship bout here on Texas World Federation Wrestling from the Metroplex Arena in Dallas, Texas. Matt Bourne. Father was known as Tough Tony, and appropriately so. And that's where Matt learned his toughness. And there's his toughness. Working on one leg, but Perez trying to finish it right there, but Bourne stays on him. Bourne leaning in. Perez attacking again the leg, finding a spot. Attacking and attacking, and Bourne working on one leg as Perez drops in again, but Perez took a kick to the back of the head. Great timing by Bourne. Bourne's trying to walk it off right now. Can this be it? Oh, tremendous reverse body slam. And Matt Bourne going for the drop, but he missed it. Perez made a great move. And right back in there again is Perez on Bourne, going back for the leg again. Over the top rope, twisting it. And there is punishment for Bourne. More punishment for Bourne. Ernesto warning the champion. Stretching up against the ropes. He's got a straddle between the bottom one and the middle one. Perez and Bourne. The championship event and the main event of Texas World Federation Championship Wrestling. Perez misses. He collapses into the mat. Bourne made a move. Another move with a kick to the side of the head, and Perez is shaken. Bourne on the attack. Great left hand by Bourne. Corner buckle. Bourne on the attack. Relentlessly pursuing his man. Perez in trouble. And now the crowd picking up the action as they go for Bourne. Perez in all sorts of trouble. Had the advantage. He's lost it now. Forearm shiver on top. 1, 2, and not enough for 3. Bourne just missed it again. Al Perez in the champion. Up and over on top. Flying body slam on top. Rolls over. Bourne 1, 2, and not 3. Oh, that was close. Perez recovering beautifully, and Bourne almost took it away from him. And running shot to the top of the head. 1, 2, and not 3 again. Bourne didn't cover him enough. Bourne says this is it. His atomic body. Oh, a turnaround by Perez. Turns him up on the shoulders. 1, 2, 3, and he got the ball. Al Perez. With the first fall, Al Perez. Al Perez picks up the win of the first fall. And we're going to look at this some more. As here it is. It looked like Bourne had it in hand. Then Perez turned it over. A reverse shoulder stand. And look at that control of the body by Perez and Ernesto's count. And Bourne cannot come out of it. Let me see if I can move over here. I'll talk to Al just a second. Hey there, champ. We'll get him ringside. Maybe a little unusual, but Al, you had this thing kind of in hand, and then Bourne came back. It's tough, huh?
Well, you know something? A guy like Matt Bourne never quits. He's got too much gut, too much determination. This is the toughest guy I've wrestled in years. And way back then, he was still tough.
All right, Al, thank you very much. Tough is the name. There he is. Bourne, the tough one. We're ready to go with the second fall. No interruption here, just going on. 2 falls out of 3. Perez won the first one. Bourne cannot afford a loss in the second one. Perez could afford a fall, but then that would extend the time. And time may be a factor because Bourne is so used to the long haul. As he tells, when you talk to him about this, he can go on and on. He has the stamina. He's the kind of longshoreman type guy who can just go and go and go, and he thrives on that. He wouldn't mind losing the first fall. He'd rather win it. But let him take the second. Let the time wear out the champion. Al Perez. When I think of Perez, I think of Ricky Romero and Rita Romero. A lot of great names. The Junkyard Dog, that's a great name. Al Perez. Now crossing. Doing a good job here. Barring those two legs. Getting it inside. Bourne not getting off to a very good start here in this second fall. And the crowd who envisioned there for a moment that Bourne, the leg scissored and that drop, and that really puts Bourne in trouble. Again, now Perez taking over early here in the second fall. And that's kind of, would expect Bourne to strike much quicker, strike much harder. But Perez stayed right on top of him. Knew him. He had a little psychological part of this was the fact that Perez slipped what looked like Bourne's winning move. And Bourne may have worried about that.
Hey, don't you tell me what to do out here.
Little discussion between Ernesto, the referee, and Matt Bourne. Stay out of his hair. Crowd came up strongly for Matt Bourne. Always liked the challenger, the underdog maybe, and undoubtedly the challenger would be thought of as the underdog. That was a nice pop back that Bourne had. But notice Matt is having trouble circulating right now, circulating down his legs because Perez has kept so much pressure on him. Bourne and Perez. I want to remind you that Texas Championship Wrestling comes to you again on December 1st here at the Metroplex Arena. So come join for the action and the excitement. And a big event on December 8th. Amateur boxing, the ABF. Great events, sporting events, concerts. Toe-to-toe now, Bourne and Perez. Perez, the winner of the first fall. And he's trying to take the second, but Bourne is fighting back. Now he drops on that left leg. And the crowd pulling for Bourne to pull an upset. He has a long way to go. He has a long journey. Good move by Perez coming off the ropes, and Bourne collapses on the mat, comes right back, staggers, takes another shot across the head. A knee drop across the throat. Perez displaying his ability as a champion, almost a count of three, and just an elbow move by Bourne. Broke it out of there, and time rolls on. Shot to the head of Matt Bourne. Perez diving in the corner. Bourne shaken. And Perez in charge now. Feeling his championship resting on his waist again. 20 minutes gone in this bout, a count of almost three, and Matt Bourne taking a lot of punishment from a rejuvenated Al Perez, who won the first fall, and continues to keep the pressure on Bourne. Matt missing with a field goal attempt. Perez now with a standing headlock. Now dropping, standing on the neck, and coming off that neck. Twice aboard. Oh, that can crush the Adam's apple, and Matt. There's the big screen look for those who like to sit up and take a few moments break. They'll never miss any action at the Metroplex Arena. It's right there, and it's right here. Perez, onto the top rope and over the top into that Middle pull, and Bourne has an opening. If Matt has enough left, he has a chance. And Al Perez went flying, thought he had the finish. Right slam by Bourne. 1, 2, and 3, and Matt Bourne cuts back for the second fall.
The maniac, Matt Bourne.
Matt Bourne almost down and out in the second fall. Comes roaring back with a great finish. Perez went over into the top rope. Let me just walk up here just a second and see if Matt can always stand right here. And we'll pick up Matt at the corner after that finish. Here's Matt coming up. Now watch this great move he puts in here. The bear hug, the flying body, and then Bourne on top. 1, 2, and 3. What a great finish. Matt. Well, they're back to action. Go ahead, Matt. That's okay. I thought you had lost it there for a minute. Great turnaround.
You thought I lost it. That's where you've gotten a little rusty being out of professional wrestling. You just watch, Mercer, and you'll see that all you got to do is listen to Matt Bourne, and you'll know it all.
I told you that he is a confident man. All right, here's the third fall. The championship is on the line. A great turnaround. Well, he misunderstood a bit. I said I thought he'd lost it, but he made a great turnaround. All he heard was, I thought you lost it. Oh, Bourne wants to get off to another strong start here. Talking about one of the great champions in Lou Thez, who came back to win that 8, 9 times in his career. Lose, come back, never was one to give up. And that's where these guys, the great ones.
Come on, Bourne, back up. 1, 2, come on, Bourne.
And here's a violent struggle in the corner with Ernesto in the middle, and now it's just a brawl in the rope. Trying to find some room. The championship is just a count of 3 away. But Perez opened up. Perez with lefts and rights. Perez coming out of that corner with an advantage. And Matt Bourne has the support of the fans. A very, very even battle, and certainly Perez knows he's in a challenge for the championship. And Ernesto doesn't want him to go out of the ring. Stay in the ring and battle. That's the admonition of Ernesto.
Don't mess with me. I know what I'm doing.
And the count can't go until now it can start, and Bourne has a chance to go back. This is the main event, the championship event on Texas World Federation Championship Wrestling. And this is the championship, the heavyweight champion. Right there, Al Perez putting his hands into the face of Matt Bourne. Kick inside by Perez. Working again. A long stretch by Perez. Like a ballet dancer just taking a high fly split. Perez flying ahead. Standing headlock right now by Al Perez. And Matt Bourne in some trouble, but as strong and tough as he is, he's come out of a lot of tough and serious situations in this match. Well, Bourne has not been able to finish off with his famous atomic drop from the top rope, nor has Perez. Made it on a spinning toe hold, but here's a tremendous move by Bourne. But Perez on his shoulders, and they're both shaken up, though, after that, when they both crashed on the mat. A knee lift to the jaw and head. And Perez is shaken, but both men are weary. Both now fighting on instinct and calling for reserve. And the crowd almost 100% for Matt Bourne. Time rolling along. And about 3 minutes left in the total time of this bout. For Perez, a tie would be as big as a win. For Bourne, it's nothing. And a crowd really in Matt's corner right now as they struggle in an opposite corner. Perez, oh, a high-flying drop. And Bourne tries now very quickly. Racing to his advantage, if there is one. A nice job on the reverse chin lock. About 3 minutes remaining. The time is now a factor for Bourne. Time is a factor now. Perez can hold on. It's to his advantage. For Bourne, he wants to finish it. I think the perspiration, the appearance is of the amount of extended energy that these men have had. Elbow lift inside by Perez. Another inside. Bourne on the top rope. Bourne with an advantage. Nice knee and lift inside. Now Perez hasn't caught up. 1, 2, and not 3. Oh, quick move with the right shoulder of Perez, who almost was counted out of there. A couple of minutes left. 1, 2, and again the right shoulder up, and Perez comes up. Try to set up his man. Here comes Perez off the rope. And a sleep hold by Meyer. Matt Bourne with a sleep hold on Perez. Bourne with just time. Time that might be enough as Perez is caught in a sleep hold by Matt Bourne. The championship may be flitting away for Perez. Perez slips out. Bourne still after him. Perez running out of that sleep hold. Good chop by Matt Bourne. Back in there again. Trying to put Perez away. Trying to win that championship point. Just 1 minute left. 60 seconds left in this championship bout, and Matt Bourne 60 seconds away from a championship if he can pull it off, and a drop there that may have busted Bourne's chin. Perez with a great drop underneath. Comes up with a left hook to the midsection. And Bourne losing his advantage. Perez fighting now. Time running out. Perez first fall. Bourne the second fall. Trying to come up with a suplex, but Bourne won't have it. Perez trying to come up with a suplex. Missing. Forearm shiver, and down goes Bourne. Perez. Time just about running out. And there's the bell, ending the bout at a fall apiece. The bell rings, the bout goes on as the referee has to separate them now. But a great battle to the finish with Perez and Bourne.
Draw. Al Perez retains the Texas Wrestling Federation Heavyweight Championship.
Al Perez still the winner as Matt Bourne challenged and challenged beautifully. But Bourne stays in there. And Matt Bourne doesn't concede easily. Okay. Gonna shake hands. As good challenger, as good champion. Looking at each other, and there's a handshake. Great finish. Great finish. Matt Bourne showing the class of challenger he is, and Al Perez the class of champion that he is. So there it is, Al Perez, the world champion. We'll be back in just a moment.
What a rush. My name is Gary Hart, and when I get out of line, I always go to the chiropractic clinic of Dr. Kevin Witt, right here in Euless. But matter of fact, anyone throughout the mid-cities or the Dallas-Fort Worth area, if you're out of line, Dr. Kevin Witt can get you back in. He's your man.
It's a rematch, December 1st. Austin and Stud against the Simpsons, Steve and Shaun. A 1-hour time limit, and that's just exactly what Steve Austin, the Simpsons, wanted.
Well, you know, that's the Simpsons wanted that.
Sure, they want a 1-hour time limit. They think they can wear you down.
Well, you know, that's the problem right there. You know, the only reason we didn't take care of the Simpsons in the first place, hey, they're a couple of high-flying guys. I'll give them credit. They're in shape. But me and Stud, that's our strong point, baby. We've been in the gym. We've been tossing the bricks around. Hey, a 1-hour time limit is right up our alley. So 1-hour time limit, 1, 2, 3. The Texas Wrestling Federation champions will rule supreme.
Yeah, but they think that you'll kind of run out of gas.
I don't think so, Stud. Will we run out of gas or not?
Hey, baby, like it or not, we got enough gas to go.
Well, gas to go. That's what they want. That's what they got. Austin and Stud against the Simpsons, Metroplex Arena, December 1st. It's a 1-hour time limit. It's big-time Texas wrestling.
Who says lightning can't strike twice? Not your Toyota dealer. Since last month's great savings are back with even bigger deals. Like a fuel-efficient front-wheel drive Celica. High performance at a low price, starting at just $12,698. Wow, just $12,698. And there are great deals on all the great-looking, reliable new 91s. But hurry, even though lightning strikes twice, 3 strikes and you may be out of luck.
Good King Wenceslas looked down on... Yo, bodacious Christmas from the B-Man and U.S. Videotel.
And a super neat New Year.
The Bronster's really psyched with Christmas spirit because Sinead came crawling back.
'Tis the season to hot-footed to any U.S. Videotel mall location. Get a demo. Register for a chance to win thousands of prizes like TVs, CDs, and trips to Hollywood.
She's never gonna guess what's in her stocking.
No purchase necessary. Call for details. Mother, time for carols!
Before you choose a body shop, do they know where to look for hidden damage? What about unibody construction? Are they skilled in the latest technology? How about color matching? Can they deliver? If you don't know, you better get Mako.
When you told your husband that your child was your father's baby, how did he take it?
On the next Sally Jesse Raphael, a family secret hidden for years.
I had no idea what was going on.
You tried to kill yourself?
Yes, I did.
An unthinkable truth.
My husband knew that I was raped, but didn't know who it was by.
Unspeakable acts.
You want to hurt this person.
Real stories on the next Sally.
Tonight at 9 on Channel 27.
A night of sometimes violent and certainly exciting matches here at the Metroplex Arena, Texas World Federation Championship Wrestling. A group of the world's greatest wrestlers in action before an excited crowd. And we want to show you some of the highlights of the evening. So let's turn our time back right now as we wind it up and look at a few of the highlights of these great bouts. Coming up first, here is Steve Simpson and Steve Austin. Austin and the Stud against the Simpsons. Steve, and a clothesline by Austin right there. The Mean Green Machine. This bout, so rugged, so enduring, that both sets of wrestlers have agreed that they want a rematch, and that comes up on December 1st, right here at the Metroplex Arena. A 1-hour time limit, so that Steve and Shaun Simpson against Steve Austin and the California Stud can have plenty of time to run through the gamut of their whole idea wearing down the stud and Steve Austin. Moving on to another bout, Terrence Garvin took care of the Angel of Death and also his partner, Ali Farouk. Farouk went down, the Angel of Death went down, and Garvin then decided here's a good time to put a body slam in and win the whole thing. After all, if you're a pair against one, that's the way it should work out. So Terrence Garvin with a big upset, but the tune that was finally played was by the Angel of Death. John Tatum made a great move right here. Percy Jackson in action, but John Tatum turned things around and slowed the action to a victory for the Hollywood man, John Tatum, on the count. Big John with his win. And then the main event. It was for the Texas World Federation Championship. A couple of outstanding, and as Matt would tell you, the world's greatest wrestler, Matt Bourne. Al Perez throwing his spinning toe hold in right there, dropping it on the leg of Bourne. It was a 2 out of 3 fall match. Perez and Bourne running through their whole repertoire of exciting moves. Perez aiming, flying, and diving. Matt Bourne taking the brunt of that. A nice roll-up, and then over Bourne, coming on top of Perez. He turned it around, and it's a count of 2, and right out of there, Perez saving himself. The kind of action that kept the fans yelling from Matt Bourne, the challenger. A big bear hug over the top, and Bourne on top and picking up the count. It was a fall apiece, and time limit ran out, and Perez defended his championship. A bit of the action, a lot of the action, here at the Metroplex Arena, where Texas World Federation Championship Wrestling gave the fans more than their money's worth. One thing we've got to remind you about is that Gary Hart is the matchmaker. He's the booker, and he said for me to pass on to you that if you're looking for some exciting competition for your community, then give him a call at 817-731-3906. That's the booking office, and Gary Hart will be glad to talk to you about the opportunity to bring these great wrestlers into your community and to provide a show, whatever it might be that you could use them for. Coming up on the event of December here at the Metroplex Arena, we've got wrestling on December 1st, coming up later in the month, and on Christmas night. So you've got a lot of excitement coming up here at the Metroplex. And we hope you'll join us and enjoy this great array of wrestling talent. We showed you one that's coming back, Abdullah the Butcher, and look forward to the time that you'll be able to see him in action here at the Metroplex Arena. 9244 Markville in North Dallas. Well, I'm Bill Mercer, and I thank you for joining us. Hope you enjoyed the evening. Gary Hart has one final message before we leave, and then we'll see you next time. Here's Gary.
Hey, I hope you've enjoyed the show tonight, and Bill Mercer was supposed to come by and play some chopsticks with me, and I even put a little high seat here, you know, for the little short fellow, Mercer. I hope you've had a good time, and if you've liked what you've seen here tonight, please stay tuned to KDFI TV and drop by the Metroplex Arena. I think you're going to enjoy it. Thank you.